So hey guys, I'm Sid and today we are going to discuss problem number 1 on Leetcode, which is twosome. So let's see what the statement says. So we have given an array of integers nums and an integer target. Return indices of the two numbers such that they add up to target. So basically what the question is saying that we have given an array of integers naming nums and we have to set a target, naming it target. And we have to search for two such numbers in the array. So when we add those numbers we get our target, right? And the next line is saying you may assume that each input would have exactly one solution and you may not use the same element twice. So okay, we don't have to use the same element twice, and our question is going to have only one solution, which makes our question a little bit easier, right? And here are the examples how we have to code. Like if we have input nums equals to 2, 7, 11, 15 and the target is 9, then we are getting indices 0 and 1. So 0 is the index of 2 and 1 is the index of 7, so 7 plus 2 equals to 9. Coming to example number 2, here the output is 1 and 2, which means index number 1 and 2, so 4 plus 2 equals to 6. So we have to code in such a way that we also get our output in these forms, otherwise our test cases will be failed, right? So let's come to our A4 sheet and break down this problem, how we are going to solve and what is going to be our logic, right? So we have given an array which is nums equals to, suppose we have the elements 2, 7, 11 and 15, right? And we have chosen a target equals to 9. So the most optimal approach for this question is that we will iterate over these elements and find those two elements whose sum equals to 9. Okay, so the basic math says how we are going to find the elements. We have studied in basic maths, right? Like we have given two numbers, suppose 4 and 5, and we have to find x. Okay, so what will you do? Suppose the operation is 4 plus x equals to 5. So what will you do to find x? The 4 will go to right side and the sign will change and you will find your x. X equals to 5 minus 4 and x becomes 1. This is our answer. So this same approach, this same logic we are going to use in our code. Here 5 is our target, okay, which is 9 here, or any other number you can take, and x is the index of second element and 4 is the index of iteration, the element that we are at the current index. Okay, so we are going to use this whole logic to get our twosome in an array of target, right? So we are going to use this same logic to build our program. Got it? Good. So let's come back to our screen and let's begin our code. So the first thing we have to do is import our libraries. So what kind of libraries? Let's see. Hashtag include IOStream. Why we are importing IOStream? It means input output stream for cout and cin, right? I think you guys are aware of what is cout and cin in C++ if you have used it. Now the second library is hashtag include Vector. Since we are going to code this array in vector form, as I have said earlier, that vector is dynamic, and that's why we are using it. So we have imported our vector. Now, one more thing. Since our question is saying that we have to return our answer in the indices, like we don't have to return our elements, we have to return the indices. And one more thing that we need in our program is going to be map, and especially unordered map. Okay, we'll discuss what is this in further program, so don't worry about it, just go with the flow right now. I'll discuss this map thing when we'll get into this program. Okay, so we have imported unordered map, right? Now, instead of using std again and again, we will use it once, and we are going to use this using an AMA name space std. Okay, so we have imported our libraries. Now let's come to the main logic, how we are going to start our code. So these things were provided by our Leetcode, like this is our format. So we have our main function toSum, where vector is initialized, naming it nums, and our target is integer type, and nums is also integer type. So we have our target, we have our nums, which is in vector, and one more thing, we have to initialize our unordered map, which is going to be empty, of course. Unordered map, and the values, or you can say the elements in it, is going to be integer type. So int, and we are going to name it as num map. This is how we declare our unordered map in C++. Now the main logic. Firstly, we have to apply for loop. For int I equals to 0, I must be less than nums.size. Nums.size. Why we are using nums.size? Because we have to iterate till the last element. So when we use dot size after any vector, we are getting the last index of that vector. So that's why we are using nums.size. Okay, I hope you got it. I plus plus. Sorry. Okay, so what we have discussed in our logic, that first we will declare a variable of integer type, naming it as target. No, we have declared target now, so we will name it as digit. Let's say digit. Okay, digit. Int digit equals to target minus nums I. So what this means, like digit is our new variable, and it is of course integer type. And how we are getting digit? We are subtracting our nums I element from our target to get our digit. And what we'll do next, that we will return the index of digit and this current index of our nums. So we will get our answer. Okay. So I have explained this logic, and now we are going to move forward in our code. Okay. This is going to be the main part of our code, and if you are not going to understand it, then you will face problems further. So keep your focus on these lines. If nummap dot find, don't worry if you are not getting it, I'm going to explain it why we are using it. Sorry, nummap dot find target not equals to nummap dot end. Why we have used it? Because this find and this end, this shows that whether our element is present in our num map or not, whether this digit or is present in our map or not. Okay, so instead of using target, actually we have to write digit here. So the digit is going to be in the map, right? And if our map is not empty, means this digit in the map, this whole line means that our map contains this digit, means nummap dot find digit not equals to nummap dot end, means till the end of this map we have our digit. Okay, and if we found this digit, we just have to return nummap So why we are writing like this? Because we want the index of digit, not the digit. And comma, we want the index of our current iteration. So why we are writing like this? Because we want the index of digit, not digit. And we also want the index of our current iterating element, which is I. Because we have to give output of two indexes, to which the sum is our digit, right? To which the sum is our target, sorry. Okay. Now coming to our next line. Sorry. Now coming to our next line, and this is the important part of our code. Like, we have to do more importantly so that this whole if condition executes. If you will not apply this thing in your code, then the whole logic will fail. Because I'm going to explain you why. Nums I equals to I. Why we have used this line? Let me tell you. Okay, we have used this line because initially our map is empty. Okay, so when you iterate first element, means when your index will be 0, your num map is already empty, and you are applying this if condition to check is this digit in your num map or not, means this digit is present in your map or not. But when your map is empty, how will you get that index of that digit? Okay, So we are using this line so that the first iteration will fail this condition, and the value that we get using this line, we will get into this num map. Okay, the index of nums I and the element of nums I will go to the map. So our map now stores the element nums I and its index. So the next iteration, when we will go to a for loop, and when the value of I will be updated, like when the I is going to be 1, then we have some value in our map, and then we are going to apply this if condition. And if this if condition fulfills, like if the digit is present in our nums, like the value that we have stored earlier in our map, if that value matches our digit, then we will return the index of that digit. I think you have got it, right? If we will not use this line, then this whole condition is nothing. Okay, so I hope you understood this line. Let me explain you again. Like, for applying this condition, you need some elements in your map, and for the first iteration, when the I equals to 0, your map is empty, and it does not matter where you have find your digit or not. If the map is empty, you will not get any return value, because we have applied a condition here that if the digit is present in num map, then return this, means index of digit and the element of. Now we will use the return. We are using return just in case if our condition fails and no element found in our array. Okay, now we are going to write our main function. In main, vector. So whatever the result is going to be, we have to store it in vector form. I hope you guys have understood why we are using vector. Sorry. Nums equals to, so create an vector and store elements. Suppose we are storing the same elements that is given in our example number 1, which is 2, 7, 11 and 15. 2, 7, 11, 15. Okay, put a semicolon and choose a target. Int target equals to 9. Okay, now we'll store our result in vector int result equals to sum is our function that we have made, and the integers were nums, target, right? Now if we have to apply a condition here, if our result, so result is our vector, and if our vector means our result is not empty. So our result must not be empty. It can be empty if no elements are going to be found, but we are taking case like we have found the element. So what we are going to do is just print those indexes using cout and cout. Okay, cout result 0. This result 0 means the index of the result vector, index 0 of the result vector. Okay, and this result 1, which means the index 1. So we are going to get two values after applying this whole two sum logic, and one is going to be the index number 0 and the other going to be the index number 1, right? And at last, okay, we need to apply a comma here also, so that it does not look like similar, means single element, sorry. And L. Okay, and if the condition fails, then we have to apply else condition. Else cout okay, else cout no solution found, or you can print anything. No solution found. You need not to print these conditions because uh, till here our code is completed, but you can print this thing also to complete your code. It looks like you have done something in your code, right? And then you can write return 0. Okay, done. We have written our code here. Okay, now let's run our code and see what it shows. Okay, line number 30 showing error. Line number 30 is showing, okay, it is expected to be a semicolon here. Oh yes, our test case 1 accepted. Case 2, case 3, and it's time to submit our code. Okay, so yes, we have got our solution, and we'll see you in our next video. Okay, till then, bye.